Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a different video to those that I usually post, and I am doing a cooking video. It's a recipe that I've adapted from something that my parents used to cook me when I was a little girl. It's really easy and I've done a couple of healthy tweaks on it, and I hope you enjoy. So to start off with, here's what you'll need: uncooked rice, and I like to use brown rice, some frozen baby peas. I prefer the baby ones because they're sweeter than the normal garden peas, and about 1 kilogram of chicken wing nibbles. You will also need corn flour. This is an optional ingredient. So is the minced garlic. That's an optional ingredient as well. You'll also need soy sauce. I like to use light soy sauce, and a jar of hoisin sauce, any sort of oil that you've got in the cupboard basically that you can use for browning meat. And then you'll also need some honey. So the first thing I do is I wash my rice. You could use the microwave rice. The good thing about rice cookers is that once the rice is cooked, it'll keep the rice warm until you're ready to serve up the rest of your meal. Then I'm going to put my pan on high heat, and I'm going to heat 15 ml of oil in a pot, and you can adjust this depending on your taste. Then I brown the chicken in the oil in the pan, and I'm being a bit lazy here. So depending on the quantities that the chicken's packaged in, I usually get between 1 kilo and 1.5 kilo of chicken, and best practice is probably to brown the chicken in 2 batches, but I'm being a bit lazy here. Usually what I do is just chuck all of the chicken in and attempt to brown both sides of most of the chicken pieces, but I'm not too worried if it's not all perfectly browned and braised. Then I put in the marinade for the sauce. You could marinate it beforehand for an hour or 2 or even overnight, but again, usually I'm not that organized and I'll just bung everything in the pot and stir it around, and I think it still turns out okay without having marinated for any sort of length of time. The first ingredient I'm using for my sauce is the hoisin sauce. I put in about 3 spoonfuls of that to coat the chicken, and when I say spoonfuls, I'm just using like a cereal spoon or a spoon that you'd use to eat your dessert after dinner, rather than actually measuring it exactly, and I put about 3 heaped spoonfuls. Then I'm going to use the same size spoon to measure out my honey, and I'm just going to put 1 spoonful of honey into the pot. If you prefer to use sugar, I would put about 3 or 4 15ml tablespoons of sugar in instead of the honey. And then I add about 1 15ml tablespoon of soy sauce to the pan and stir everything around so it's nice and coated in the marinade. And an optional ingredient is garlic. I use minced garlic because I am too lazy to peel or crush up fresh garlic, so I'm just going to put in about 1 teaspoon. If you're using fresh garlic, I would crush it and fry it just after you've browned the chicken, and then I will put your sauce or marinade ingredients in the pan. Then once all the flavours are nicely mixed in together, I add 3 cups of water, so that's 750 ml of water, and then I'll bring the pan to the boil, and then once it's come to the boil, I'll turn the heat down so that it simmers for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the chicken is cooked. But my parents always thicken their gravy just slightly, and what they do is just take 2 teaspoons, and when I say teaspoon I mean just a teaspoon you'd use to stir your cup of tea or coffee, and put about 2 heaped teaspoons of corn flour into a cup. Mix a little bit of water to form a thick paste, so you've got to be really conservative with how much water you add to the corn flour, and then you pour it into the sauce and quickly mix it all in really thoroughly. And you want to add your corn flour water at least 5 minutes before the chicken is cooked, just so it's got time to thicken up that sauce. My parents used to stir fry or steam vegetables such as zucchini and cauliflower. I'm a little bit lazier, particularly when I'm in a rush, so I just usually bung some frozen peas in the microwave and steam them. So there you have it guys, my easy homemade Chinese chicken. I really love this dish because it is classic comfort food for me. It reminds me of when my parents would cook me dinner. Nowadays I have to fly home to New Zealand and visit my parents to get a home cooked meal. Otherwise I need to cook it myself. It's flavours of my childhood, and what I love about it is there's no chopping, and it's just really easy and hassle free, and you don't create a lot of mess. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. I upload new content every week, and I will see you next time. Bye!